Hi, this is Michelle Faith Lucas.
And this is Renee Dawn Kirsch.
You know, when our intentions are aligned with our soul intentions, we blossom and our lives flourish. We're very aware of what steps to take next without confusion or concern. And more shows up for us to step into more and more of who we are. The first step in creating forward, and I should say all the steps in creating forward, are to get us back aligned with our soul. Feel that inner passion, feel that the inner desire. The first step is relinquish that which does not sustain you. So we're going to give you a few tips today. Okay, so one thing that doesn't sustain you, pitying yourself, pitying someone else, actually it brings you down. And it brings you down to pity someone else, to feel sorry for someone else. Their contract is between them and God. Their soul is trying to be healed, and therefore there is something happening that is getting them to that healing, is getting their soul to be born in life. Now, it could be that they've put up so much resistance that they have been sick, have, who knows, accidents, all that kind of stuff. That's just resistance from allowing their soul to be born. So what do? Our wind here in Sedona is telling us, you blow it away, you just let it go. And tell them, explain to them, are you having resistance, or are you going through a very necessary process that will assist you in knowing yourself more? So no pity. Can you think of anything, Renee, where pity has come into play?
I could say I have, like a friend of mine, maybe will come in and tell me, and it's like she repeats the same words over and over every day, and you can try to put in, well, what if you thought of it this way, but they still come back, no, that's for you, but that's not me, and they go back to the same play over and over. They don't want to hear what you have to say, nor are they open for it. So
they have a story.
They have a story. Yep, they do.
So what's her name?
This would
I'm kidding, don't tell her name. This is YouTube. Give her a name. Okay, but so the story.
It's a story.
Stories do not sustain us.
Right.
What does sustain us is something more like, let's see what is coming up next, because that's more of me. Being in the now. But the story is just a reverberation of some kind of panic, fear, something that says, I'm not worthy, or I'm not really all here, and I'm not in my power. Because if you're in your power, and if you're really strong, then you don't need a story to survive. And there was another thing I thought of today that you don't need. All the criticism on Facebook right now. Of everything that's happened, with Orlando. In Orlando, everybody criticizing each other. Sorry, strong people do not need to criticize.
Right.
You could call a spade a spade. I'm not saying don't do that. The truth's the truth.
Right.
However, when a person is constantly focusing on a problem, the problem's what you're going to get. And in the heart and soul of all of us, we all have the exact same intention. It is to be free. It is to love. It is to serve. It is to be expanded. And so in that, there are solutions. So criticism is one of those things. What else would you say around that? Relinquish that which does not sustain you. So,
what I get with a lot of it is the energy that we then put towards that event. Like the energy of repeated negativity. So what are we bringing to that event? What about the compassion and the love for the people, the lives that were lost? What about the people? What about the love we can send
I was inside so much, talking inside of why is this going on? Why does it keep happening? I don't understand. Was there even a way to... I question it, but I just didn't know who to talk to question it, or even ask a question. So that's where I was at when I first started.
Was there something, though, from childhood that made you just... Because I knew from childhood there was something else going on here.
Yes. When I was little, and I remember I did learn it in church, and it was that song, This Little Light of Mine. So what I always knew, this little light of mine. So it was that finger that this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. I always knew that I had that light inside of me. So no matter what happened, the struggles or the pain or even abuse, whatever happened, I always knew that they could never put my light out.
The inner critic is really directed towards themselves, and they're not wanting to look at it. So to relinquish that, some place that you're critical on yourself, this is the key, okay? You are not your ego. Your ego is just a mechanism. Your personality is a mechanism to thrive in life. However, when that personality strays from the soul intention, then the energy for thriving, the life force, the God force, is no longer in complete connection. We're not completely tapped in. We've kind of unplugged from the wall. So now you have this inner critic. Well, you're being critical about an ego, something that's you've only created to help you thrive here, or what you think you need for protection. You can't possibly be critical of your soul, who you really are, or where you're from, the love that you are, the universal support that you have, the fact that you were born of love. How could you be critical of that? So one of the ways to relinquish these patterns is to literally make them light, to make them small. And sometimes, this is a very good point. I want you to listen in on this. Sometimes we go through some pretty difficult times of, say, a lack of abundance. Say we're really having a hard time getting our bills met. Well, that is a very important juncture in our lives, because when you hit bottom, what we think is bottom, when it's only us and God, when it's only us and our souls ready to come alive no matter what lack we have, we see how little the outside world is and how big the inside world is, and that the inside world is our ultimate guidance system. And when we make the possibility of losing something small and irrelevant, the big things start showing up.
I guess what I would go with that is when I decided to take a leap, if you want to call it, or maybe I was pushed. That's what I feel sometimes. When your soul wants to grow, you might feel like it's pushed, but it wasn't. I was just ready to make a move. And so when I came to Sedona, instead of bringing stuff, I really cleared and released. And I came with my vehicle and the stuff I could fit in it, and it was so freeing. What I can tell you is when you get, it took me a little bit before I landed in a place that I was comfortable, but it didn't take me long for things to accumulate. So then you feel that clutter again, and then you feel like all this stuff around you. So to me, it was like, it's freeing when we don't need as much as we think materially wise. Doesn't mean that we can't have them. It means where is your soul really going to grow? Where do you want to be? To me, I needed to be out in nature. I need to be with Mother Earth, and I need to feel. To me, it's a feeling of freedom.
One point of light that really stuck out for me, what Renee Dawn just said, is that it really, really matters how we feel. And if we're feeling good inside in our soul, we are tapped into our internal guidance system. And the wind is saying, yes, you are, because the energy just really picked up here. So how we feel matters. And right now we feel very good. We feel very blessed to be in this sacred land, to live in this sacred land of Sedona. And we hope to see you here sometime to relinquish some of what doesn't sustain you. Namaste.
Namaste. Remember that little light. Remember your